situation to a recursive rule. So let's read this problem. Melissa's doctor prescribes amoxicillin for 2 weeks to cure an ear infection. She starts without any amoxicillin in her body. Melissa takes 1.5 grams of amoxicillin each day. Her body will consume 1/4 of the amoxicillin each dose contains each day. Write the recursive function to find how much amoxicillin is present at the end of 2 weeks of treatments. So our goal is to write a recursive rule, and what do we know about this problem? Well, she is gonna take 1.5 milligram of amoxicillin, and 1/4 of whatever she has in her body is gonna consume. That's gonna be, washed away from her body. So let's write a table first, right? So that's going to be N, and I'm going to use A here because they said amoxicillin, right? So the original day she has nothing. First day she takes 1.5, and then the second day she's going to lose 1/4 of 1.5. So it's going to be 1.5 is like what? 3/4? I mean 3/2. What's the 1/4 of it? 1/4 of it is going to be 3/8, right? So 3/8 is going to be gone from 3/2. So in other words, she's going to have 3/4 of 1.5 is going to stay there, right? So that's going to be 9/8. So I'm going to use the fraction because it's pretty easy. So 9/8 is going to stay in her body, right? So what are we doing here? We're just going to multiply 3/4, right? The next day, she's going to take another 1.5 milligrams, right? So 1.5 milligrams. And then only 3/4 of this is going to stay in her body. So 9/8 times 3/4, right? So 3/2 plus 27/32. So I'm just going to change this by multiplying 16. 16, that's going to be 48/32, right? So that's 48 plus 27 is going to be 75/32, right? And then the fifth day, it's going to be the same thing. You're going to have 1.5 milligram. You're going to have this guy, 3/4 of this guy is going to stay there in your body, and then add 1.5 milligrams. So what are we doing here, right? What are we doing is we look at the previous output, we multiply by 3/4, and then add 1.5 milligrams. That's what's happening, right? That's what we keep doing it here, from here, right? So the initial value, f of n, is going to be, well, let's start it out with here. If you start it out, well, table doesn't have to start from here. First day, it's going to be 1.5, 3/2, right? If n is 1, and what are we doing here, right? Do you remember the notation for the previous output? That's f of n. Actually, in this case, it's a of n because we decide to use a of n. So 3/4 of previous output, a of, that's going to be a of n minus 1. And then we're going to add new 3/2, which is 1.5 milligram, for if n is greater than 1. So this is the recursive rule to fit into this situation. So what I did was that I made a table first to see what's happening here, and then create the recursive rule. So once you get used to it, you can jump from here to here, right? Because you can see that at 1.5 milligram, it's here, right? And 1/4 will be gone. That means that 3/4 will stay in her body, which says here, right? And then take another 1.5 milligrams after first day.